It's not often that one anecdote tells you everything you need to know about a man. But in Jeff Garcia's case, a run-in with a future teammate, long before Garcia was anybody, does go a long way.
There was a situation back in college when I was at San Jose State, and some of the 49ers used to hang out at a downtown establishment. And one night I was there, and I ran into Jerry, and I'm not this type of person to just go up to somebody. It's out of my character. But for some reason that night, I was feeling good about myself, I guess, and went up and I just introduced myself, and I said, one day I'm going to be throwing passes to you. And probably in the back of his mind is saying, well, I'm never going to play in a flag football league, so how are you going to be throwing passes to me? But what do you know? 7 years later, I guess, it finally took place. In a lot of ways, it was a dream come true.
Touchdown, 49ers.
Growing up the son of a football coach in San Francisco during the 49ers dynasty of the 1980s, Garcia couldn't help but envision himself as his boyhood idol.
The wife used to call him Joe Jr., and even all the fans at the high school and everything, they go, hey, that's Joe Jr., Joe Montana, you know. He kind of cherished it.
Unfortunately, few scouts saw Joe Jr. in him. It took a 2-year stint playing for his dad at Gavilan Junior College before he earned a Division I scholarship to San Jose State. He then entered the NFL draft, but didn't have any takers.
Jeff, why do you think you were so unfairly evaluated by the NFL scouts?
At that time, Troy Aikman was the man. He was the 6'3", 6'4", 220-pound, straight drop back, rocket arm. Everybody was looking for that.
Well, what is your size?
I'm 6'1", about 195 pounds. And so, yeah, I wasn't the prototype coming out of college.
It seemed the only eye he did catch was, ironically, Montana's old coach, when Garcia almost single-handedly beat Bill Walsh's Stanford team in 1993.
I couldn't understand how Jeff Garcia could be overlooked. I was pushing him, putting my reputation on the line, and even my dearest friends wouldn't sign him. Because there was some statistical formula people use, some measurables, almost like how high can he jump, how far can he throw a ball. I brought Jeff Garcia to the 49er mini camps at that regime at that time. Didn't sign him, they went for Druckenmiller.
Seeing it as a stepping stone to the NFL, Garcia headed north, where he followed Doug Flutie as quarterback of the Calgary Stampeders. But Canada soon started to seem like a permanent landing.
It got to the point where I was all of a sudden going into my 5th year and wasn't really getting any bites from any NFL teams. So I just felt, well, it's not going to happen.
He became a local hero when he led Calgary to the Grey Cup Championship in 1998 and was named the game's MVP. But when Bill Walsh returned to the 49ers as general manager the following year, Garcia was finally able to add one more helmet to his collection.
I'm standing outside with a friend of mine, and next thing I know, there's a bear hug, and he picks me up and he goes, Dad, I'm a Niner. I'm a Niner.
He was a 29-year-old rookie, about to be handed an even bigger opportunity.
Young's been hurt. I mean, Steve's really been hurt. He's out.
All of a sudden, Steve Young gets hurt, and enter Jeff Garcia. It was a little bit like when Brett Favre got his chance when Don Majkowski turned his ankle.
And this kid is going to get a chance to show what he can do. Nobody's really ever heard of him.
And much like Favre, Garcia's early growing pains drove Steve Mariucci, Favre's former mentor in Green Bay, crazy all over again.
Pop it up! Jeff, throw it away! Back to throw is Garcia, and too deep. It should be picked, and it is. Interception.
What are you thinking there?
I was thinking, I was looking at what the defenders were doing, and then tight end flash in front of linebacker, and I just tried to put it on his chest.
Yeah, that's what Favre used to do to Sterling Sharp.
Garcia's dream was becoming a nightmare as the 49ers finished 4-12 that season, their worst record since 1983.
Here I grew up and really experiencing 2 decades of championship teams, and now all of a sudden I was the quarterback of the team that hit rock bottom. I was really starting to doubt my abilities as a player, and that had never happened.
And Garcia wasn't the only one starting to lose confidence in the quarterback.
You sit tight right now. We're gonna consider putting the other guy in for a change of pace here, okay? How does it work for his confidence for next week? Or do we look for another guy?
It was hard to handle because of having family in the area, having to see them read the scrutiny that was taking place.
It got so bad that one Garcia had to take a stand.
And it's Bob's turn in Gilroy with Rich Walkoff here on KGO.
I think that the quarterback did a great job. He can't throw the ball and catch it.
Bob, you know your stuff. You sound like you might have been a coach.
Well, I am. I'm Jeff's dad.
I'm like, Dad, I'm 30 years old. You don't need to stand up for me anymore. But he's like, hey, you're my son, and no matter what happens, I'm always going to be there for you.
So now it's a big thing. All my buddies, they made me shirts with JG, Jeff Garcia. I'm Bob from Gilroy. And wherever I go, I've been in Vegas, I've been in San. We know you. You're Jeff's dad.
But Bob from Gilroy didn't need to defend his son much longer. In 2000, Garcia proved he not only could make it in the NFL, he could be a star.
Goes way downfield, Rice is out there. He's got it. Touchdown 49ers.
He eclipsed his legendary predecessors, setting team records for yards passing and touchdown passes in the season.
Garcia throws way down the left side, right behind the defense. He's got it.
In 2000 and 2001 combined, Garcia's 63 touchdown passes were the most in the NFL, proving to scouts that size and arm strength aren't the full measure of a quarterback.
They missed on the one element that made Joe Montana great, his ability to avoid and throw, avoid and throw. You're looking for an instinctive athlete to play the game.
This ability to avoid and throw vaulted him from obscurity to the Pro Bowl.
Garcia steps out of the pocket, starts to run, throws for the end zone. Touchdown 49ers!
It's safe to say Garcia has come full circle, as has Bob from Gilroy, his dad, who now may be his biggest critic.
You know what? I don't know why on that he didn't come back and throw it downfield. It's a screen pass. The guy's covered. He throws it away. Look downfield. The guys are open.
Do you ever just have to, when he calls you up after a game, say, hey, Dad, come on, back off. You know?
Dad, chill out a little bit. Come on, you're not coaching the game anymore.
As his first coach, though, his dad even beat Bill Walsh to the punch in seeing his son's potential.
I had no doubt in my mind he would have success. I mean, even though he's a real kind of quiet, kind of easygoing guy.
Got some gum? Do you have some gum? Bubble yum. Oh.
Well, I tell you, when it comes to football, he does everything within his power to prepare himself.
Yeah, baby, yeah, baby!
Hey, what are you doing, being a player?
I need to get hit every now and then to not wake me up.
Garcia's resume play could very well be from a game in 2002 when he threw a downfield block to spring Terrell Owens.
Garcia is leading the way for Owens, by the way.
All the while with a bad case of the flu.
Nice job!
Quarterback's got to be one of the toughest guys on your team. He really does. Physically, because he takes such a unusual beating. And then he's got to be mentally tough. He's got to have thick skin. He's got to be able to withstand the boos or not being able to fulfill the expectations like a Joe Montana or a Steve Young. You got to be a tough son of a gun. Hasn't been easy. Those are big shoes to fill, and he's done it beautifully.
I know that there were millions of people out there who would have never put it on me to be the next guy. To me, that was the ultimate challenge. That continues to be the ultimate challenge because I want to be that next guy in the line of great quarterbacks. I want to be the next guy that they start talking about, and that's going to be years down the road, but that's my drive to continue to prove myself on a yearly basis. I want the next guy who follows me to have to follow my footsteps along with Steve Young's and Joe Montana's. That's what I strive to accomplish.
Garcia, touchdown, 49ers!